What happens when an Earth intern gets trapped in a space elevator run by aliens and endless paperwork? You get the wildest ride in the universe, literally. Our story begins with Jeremy, a human intern at the infamous Bureau of Universal Affairs. The morning began like any other there, a familiar mix of confusion, panic, and some very questionable coffee. But on this particular day, something special was on the schedule. The Bureau had planned its annual safety inspection of the space elevator, a colossal tower that connected the Bureau's floating headquarters to the planet's surface far, far below. Jeremy, the intern from Earth, was thrilled. He had always dreamed of riding a space elevator. In his mind, he pictured panoramic views of stars and clouds, a smooth, silent ride, and maybe even a snack bar with those little astronaut ice cream packets. Unfortunately, as he was quickly learning, the Bureau of Universal Affairs never ever did anything the easy way. When Jeremy arrived at the base of the colossal elevator, he wasn't greeted with a ticket, but with a manual thicker than a moon rock. The cover read, in bold, imposing letters, Space Elevator Safety and Bureaucratic Procedures, Volume 1 of 85. He let out a long sigh, muttering to himself, "Why do I feel like this ride is going to need a permit just to breathe?" Just then, his supervisor, a three-eyed alien named Glorvac, clapped his tentacles together with a squishy, enthusiastic sound. "Congratulations, intern. You have been chosen as the human representative for the test ride." Jeremy froze mid-sigh. "Wait, test ride? Like the first ride? The one to see if it works?" Glorvac beamed, all three eyes twinkling with misplaced confidence. "Exactly. The elevator has not been tested since the anti-gravity core was upgraded. But do not worry, it only malfunctioned twice last week." Before Jeremy could protest, the elevator doors opened with a cheerful ding, a sound that was completely at odds with the sense of doom settling in his stomach. He cautiously stepped inside. The interior was not what he expected. The walls glowed with holographic panels displaying thousands upon thousands of buttons, most of them blinking in various alarming shades of red. Overwhelmed, he looked for the simplest option and pressed the one labeled up. That was his first mistake. The elevator didn't ascend, it launched. It shot upward with a force that glued him to the floor as if he were a pancake on a very fast-moving spatula. A whirlwind of papers, strange alien snacks, and an unfortunate maintenance drone flew past his head in a chaotic ballet. "This is not an elevator!" Jeremy yelled into the void. "This is a rocket disguised as a death trap!" Just as he was getting used to the G-forces, at floor 42, the elevator stopped. It didn't slow down, it just stopped, hanging in the abyss. A calm, robotic voice echoed through the cabin. "Attention! Bureaucratic hold detected. Please submit Form Z Alpha for continued ascent." Jeremy stared at the blinking red light in disbelief. "A form? You want me to fill out a form while hanging miles above a planet?" He fumbled through the digital paperwork on a floating screen, trying to fill it out while the entire cabin swayed dangerously in the upper atmospheric winds. But every time he clicked Submit, a new error message appeared. Signature invalid. After several frantic attempts, he realized the problem. He had to sign it in galactic cursive, a language that looked like a mixture of spaghetti and lightning bolts. Somehow, he managed to draw something that resembled a signature. The moment he submitted the form, the elevator jolted violently again, but not in the way he hoped. It started moving, sideways. Through the transparent walls, Jeremy saw the planet disappear below as stars and nebulas blurred past. He screamed, a sound that was probably absorbed by the vacuum of space. "This is not even supposed to go in that direction." The robotic voice calmly replied, "Congratulations, you have reached the optional scenic route. Please enjoy the view of deep space." Then the real fun began. Alarms blared, lights flickered. A crackly voice came through the intercom. It was Glorvac. "Jeremy, do not panic. The elevator may just be temporarily entering a low orbit. Temporarily? Jeremy shouted back, his voice cracking. How temporary are we talking? Minutes? Hours? Geologic time? As if in answer, the entire elevator began spinning like a cosmic washing machine on its highest setting. Floating helplessly past a vibrant pink nebula, Jeremy saw another, much calmer elevator full of tourists. They were sipping glowing drinks from tall glasses, and they waved at him. One of them, a creature with far too many teeth, shouted, "You're in the wrong lane, rookie!" Desperate, Jeremy's eyes scanned the chaos and landed on a big red emergency lever. The label was oddly specific, in case of bureaucratic delay. Thinking nothing could be worse than his current situation, he grabbed it and pulled with all his might. Instantly, the elevator reversed direction. Not just its movement, but gravity itself. Everything that was on the floor, including Jeremy, slammed into the ceiling. After a few disorienting moments, the spinning stopped and the elevator stabilized. The doors opened with that same cheerful ding. But he wasn't at the Bureau's main entrance. He was in the middle of the cafeteria. Dozens of alien workers, mid-bite of their various slimy or crunchy lunches, watched in stunned silence as Jeremy tumbled out onto the floor, covered in coffee stains, crumpled paper forms, and a fine layer of anti-gravity dust. Glorvac floated over holding a clipboard. "Ah, the inspection report. How did it go?" Jeremy, lying flat on his back and staring at the ceiling, groaned. It went up, sideways, and emotionally downhill. The very next morning, a memo went out across the Bureau, proudly announcing, "The space elevator has officially passed the safety test. Special thanks to the Earth intern for surviving the procedure." They even issued him a special award, a certificate of gravitational endurance, complete with a tiny, screaming hologram of Jeremy trapped inside the elevator. As the camera zooms out, we see Jeremy looking at the towering elevator from a safe distance, muttering, "Next time I'm taking the stairs, even if it takes 3 light years." On screen, the Bureau's motto flashes, "Efficiency through paperwork, safety through survivors." If you have ever been stuck in a weird office elevator or felt like you were buried under a mountain of paperwork, then you know exactly how Jeremy feels. Share this video with your friends, fellow interns, and anyone who has ever been told it's just a simple job. And don't forget to subscribe to Sci-Fi Funny Stories for more cosmic chaos, interstellar laughter, and the everyday heroics of one very unlucky Earth intern. Thanks for watching.